Today Mr. Binchuk will teach you how to make a no-dig garden. He has his pallet wood garden bed prepared, and the first stage is to lay down some cardboard to ensure that no weeds grow up from the previous lawn that was in this spot. Cardboard is also a carbon. More about that later. In this process today, Mr. Binchuk will be adding browns, carbon, and greens, nitrogen. He now has a tub of twigs and leaves that he collected from the garage behind on the roof. He removes any weeds and he spreads them out over the cardboard. This will be a layer of carbon or browns. Browns can include cardboard, twigs, dried leaves, and mulched wood. Anything that's kind of dead. So he's going to spread that out and make sure that layer is nice and thin using a rake. The next layer that he's going to add is some grass clippings. Now these are green and greens, and they're considered a nitrogen. So greens or nitrogen could be lawn clippings, it could be food scraps, it could be manure, horse manure, chicken manure, cow manure, preferably not human manure. But all these are nitrogen sources. And he's going to spread that out. So it's like making a compost sandwich. And what it does is, by adding the nitrogen and the carbon, you provide this wonderful ecosystem for microbes to live in. So basically you're putting compost, or the ingredients of a compost, into your garden bed. The next thing he's going to add is another layer of carbon or browns. This is some mulch that he collected for free off Facebook Marketplace. So he's just spreading that all around. Now how it works is the microbes use the nitrogen to build cell structure and to reproduce. It helps them to reproduce and to develop. The carbon supplies them with the energy to do this. So together, nitrogen and carbon are the building blocks of life. And what Mr. Binchuk is doing is creating a microbe ecosystem in his garden. The wonderful benefit of doing this also is that he can use this garden bed immediately. He doesn't have to make compost and add the compost later. He is making the compost now. So he's now onto another layer of greens, nitrogen. See how you do it? You just one layer of browns, carbon, and one layer of greens, nitrogen. This lovely mix creates the microbes that will bring this garden bed to life. It's important to use more carbon than nitrogen. If you use too much nitrogen, it's going to lead to a bit of a stinky mess. You can see now he's adding another layer of carbon in dried leaves. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful garden bed. Spreading that out. Yes, so you want a little bit more of the carbon than the nitrogen, because the nitrogen can, if there's too much, it's not going to be alive. Oh, hang on a minute. He's adding the secret sauce. Oh, he's not, is he? He is. He's adding the secret sauce, human urine. Now, believe it or not, urine contains nitrogen, and it is completely sterile and safe to use. And yes, thank you for that, Mr. Binchuk. I wasn't expecting that, but it's not a problem. We're now moving on to the final stage, and he's adding some soil. And of course this soil will already contain microbes, and he's previously mixed it with some horse manure, free horse manure he once again collected off Facebook Marketplace. So it's already been sort of pre-prepared. So this is going to really kick things off. The soil's full of microbes, and it's going to come to life. So we just spread that on the top layer, looking fantastic. And already the soil is showing signs of life. He's found an earthworm. That's a wonderful sign that this soil is ready to go. And this earthworm will love his new home. It's going to spread all that out. Spread it out and ensure it's all even across the top. Just a little bit more to fill in the gaps. When planting into a no-dig garden, you just have to make a little indentation into that top layer of topsoil and just plant your plants in like that. At the moment, Mr. Binchook's putting in some lettuces. Just leaving a little bit of a gap so they can grow out, because they will grow. They will go crazy in this soil, in this wonderful, wonderful environment. Now one of the final stages in this process is Mr. Binchook is going to add a layer of straw. This will keep the moisture in and keep weeds away. The wonderful thing about a no-dig garden bed is it can be used immediately. It never has to be dug again, because basically you're developing a wonderful environment or ecosystem of microbes. All you really need to do is every year add a little bit more compost on the top and never dig it again. And the final stage is to add some water to bring this wonderful carbon, nitrogen, life force to life. Wet it all in. The air and the water helps turn it into a compost, helps to bring it alive. So there we have it, a no-dig garden.